Hey everybody, BDF44 here, coming at you with another video. All right, Lakers got a game today at 3 o'clock versus the Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball. Yeah, man, it's going down. It's going to be a very, very, very spirited game in my opinion because the Lakers are struggling. They need to play against somebody like the Pistons. And the Pistons are at home, so they should have a little more confidence than say they would in Staples Center or Crypto.com Arena rather. And I think at this point, um, I'm very curious to see how we approach what they're going to put on the floor. Now, I'm wondering if Isaiah Stewart's going to be playing tonight. I know that he's kind of went down with some type of injury of some sort, so I'm wondering if he'll be available for them. If he is, he's a very big body, a very very aggressive rebounder who's been struggling quite a bit. And you know how I feel about the Lakers right now. If you're struggling, the Lakers are the exact team you want to see. So I'm curious to see if he's going to be out there. If not, Kelly Olynyk, I'd imagine, will be getting a start. This is somebody who plays better with more minutes. He has a lesser role this year with Detroit playing behind Isaiah Stewart. But I think Isaiah's been struggling quite a bit, and couple that with his injuries and stuff like that, you'll see Kelly probably take over a bigger role as the season progresses. So we'll see how that goes. They have size. That's the moral of the story. Look out for a guy by the name of Jeremy Grant. We know exactly who that is because we played with him in the Western Conference when he was with OKC. This is a guy who can defend, definite defender, and he's now put together a real good scoring package that works, three-level scoring package that allows him to be effective from everywhere. He has grown a great deal since he played with the Philadelphia 76ers, clanking three-point shots and leaping all over the place. This is a real player who you have to account for, and arguably their best player right now. Got another guy by the name of Sadiq Bey, Laker fans, that we're going to have to pay attention to as well. He's kind of up and down in his production, but he's a scorer, and he's somebody who can let it fly from three. One of their very, very, very solid weapons. I expect him to be spirited tonight. Killian Hayes is also somebody I'm paying attention to. He's injured. I don't know if he's playing tonight, but he will affect things. He's a combination player. He does a lot of everything except scoring at this point. So if he's playing, he'll be very disruptive. But the moral of the story is this when it comes to the Pistons. They're not a good team right now. They're just not. But Cade Cunningham is finding his confidence. That is the story right now. That is what you need to understand. Over the last, say, 3 games, he's been playing like the guy you thought he would be when he out the gate. Obviously, he was coming back from injury. You know, he got nicked up a couple times, both in summer league and in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken. So he's just now finding his conditioning. And as I've been telling you guys on this channel about the Pistons, their entire system is built around this kid. He's supposed to be their A1, A2, and A3, basically. So without him, they weren't themselves. And with him, you get to see what they're about. And the better he plays, the better they play. And that's how it's going to be until they get him some help with some more talent around him. But I love what they have because they have a big lineup at all times, whether Stewart is playing or not. When you couple Cade, Grant, Olynyk, Bey, these are big guys. They got a guy by the name of Lee on their bench as well. That's pretty good. Garza is a center who can shoot that they got out of the draft. I don't know if he's in their rotation yet, but best believe if they give him minutes, he can do good things. So this is a talented team that has not really had a whole lot of success to start the season. But Motorcade is going to go off tonight. I'm telling you right now, the Lakers are in town. This is a big deal for a young player like him. First overall pick in the draft. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't have a good game against us. Or he wets the bed because it's the Lakers and he's shell shocked because of all these stars. It's one or the other. I don't expect him to have an average game by any stretch of the imagination. This is built around him, and he seems like he's ready for it. Now, let's talk about my team. Ain't much to say. We suck. We're going to suck until we fire our coach. The end. All right, so that's what I got. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, the Los Angeles Lakers have so many issues right now, but what we also have is so much incredibly gifted talent. And at some point in time, you would hope that the people who need to sit down will just sit down, and the AD and LeBron James will just get victories for us. But the reality is, basketball is not that simple. And if you're playing 2K, it is that simple. You keep giving the ball to AD and Bron, and you overpower people. But that's not how it works when you're playing NBA ball. You need weapons coming from different directions, and you got to be able to have ball movement and various different things that make you unpredictable. And we don't have those things right now. And you couple that with our defensive deficiencies, we're just a bad basketball team waiting for our stars to save us. So LeBron James has been very efficient. He's going to have to be great again tonight. Anthony Davis has been great all season in certain areas, but not in the areas that we need him to be, such as rebounding the ball and having killer instinct and being aggressive and drawing fouls against people who need to be off the floor. We need to get him more aggressive. And that comes with, a lot of that has to come with him being put in different positions on the floor than he's been put in. Catching the ball closer to the basket, various things that need to just happen that we just aren't seeing. And so I'm of the mindset, until you remove the problem, which is the person who's putting those schematics together, you're going to continue to see more of the same stagnant or okay type offense, depending on how well our shooters are shooting around those players. Stand around offense. I'm going to say that pretty much every video we talk about the Lakers until I see otherwise. As long as I continue to see Wayne Ellington and Malik Monk and all these guys sitting in the corner while AD catches the ball and looks for someone to move and no one ever moves, and I know they're asked to do that. It's not like those guys are refusing to run. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the coach is asking them to sit in positions where they're not doing anything but standing around. As long as that continues to be the case, we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle. And small ball lineups, please, for God's sakes. I just said Detroit has a big lineup. Whether Stewart's playing or not, they're still big. So you're going to have to match up with them. AD should eat because there's nobody down there that can guard him at all. Especially if Jonathan's not, if Stewart's not playing, there's no reason at all for AD not to get 30 plus points, which he will. I mean, he's AD. So I just expect him to play well. Hopefully he gives us a really good game. And from there, Bron's going to be Bron. I ain't worried about that. But is that enough? Russell, are you going to give us a better game? You struggled in the last one. And struggle, I mean by just not giving us a whole lot of stats, you know what I mean? But he didn't struggle in the turnovers as much. Those turnovers are down. So as long as he's not the story, I'm not going to do too much complaining. But we will see some bad passes. We will see some misreads and things like that. It's just where we're at. I would love to see a great game out of a guy like Malik Monk today. Taylor Horton Tucker is somebody I'm going to be looking to have a bounce back game from a very bad game after 3 straight great games. So he's looked like an all-star to start the season. I think that's more of what we tend to expect from him rather than the struggles that we saw in the previous game. But as I told you guys when he was first coming back, inconsistency is more so what I expect because that's what I had seen. So he came out the gate firing, had a struggle game. We'll see if there's going to be a bounce-back game. If not, we'll understand what we can be looking forward to. So jury's still out in terms of him being a star player for us right away. But overall, of course, he'll be great down the road. Like I said, I want to get back to Malik because I've been enjoying him playing ball for us down there offensively. He finishes well, dropping at the basket. He makes good reads and stuff like that. I would like to see us give him a big position tonight against Detroit on the road. He's a guy who's familiar with Eastern Conference buildings more so than us because he's played on the East for the last several years. I'd like to see us give him an opportunity tonight to maybe be featured a little more than we have been in these last couple games because he's a real scorer for us. And with THT on the floor now, he creates more of a draw to open things up for Malik Monk. So I'd like to see them on the floor together, and I'd like to see Malik get about 8-9 shots tonight. So, yeah, that's what I want to see, man. I want to see that. I think some of these possessions that we are allowing to disappear with AD taking flat jumpers with no rebounders and Russell Westbrook tossing the ball away and stuff like that, these are possessions that we now need to turn into quality possessions for guys like Malik Monk, THT, to do things that they're good at. Because that's what we were missing, was just other options away from some of that crap that we were watching. Now we have more options. Now we should be able to do some things. I'm just hopeful that our coach won't get in the way. So that's what I'm looking for here today against the Detroit Pistons. I do expect to win this basketball game, to be honest with you, Laker fans. I haven't expected to win any of the other ones, but this one I do. We should get this one today. We are a better team than Detroit. We should overpower them with Bron and AD. And I do expect a big game from Motorcade, possibly a triple-double from him. He's going to be one of those guys who you can look to for regular triple doubles, if not to average one going forward, as he starts to develop, because this thing is to facilitate. He's known as a guy who doesn't make many mistakes at all, particularly in the pick and roll, where he's a basic genius, and he has a very, very fluid and wet three-point shot. So that means he's going to get about three threes a game. That's 9 points right there. He's going to get to the line, all that. He's going to average more than 15 points. His assists, that's one of his gifts. He passes the rock, and he's supposed to have the ball in his hands at all times to facilitate to all of these different scores that they do have on this team. And rebounding is easy for a guy like that because he's big. He has long arms. He's basically another LeBron type of player in terms of Luka Doncic type of big guy. So rebound's going to come in easily. So he's a no-brainer all-star for the future. And I just look forward to seeing him play today. I think he's gonna have an opportunity to make a name for himself for real today. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's what I got, man. My name is BDL44. Thank y'all for watching, and I'm out.